I'm probably one of the most skeptical homeopaths you will ever meet. And I don't say that lightly because if you look online or elsewhere, what is being said about homeopathy, it can be kind of confusing. Lots of people with opinions. People that say it doesn't work, it's placebo. Others that say it's dangerous or even maybe occult. And then there's my reality. Growing up with a deeply faithful Bible studying grandmother that used homeopathy very successfully, and my very rational, let me see it before I believe it dad that used homeopathy in our household and to treat me as well in an engineer type of way. So at some point I thought, okay, what does a normal person do that wants to know something about something? They study it. So I decided to go all the way and I went to university in London to figure out once and for all. So, does it work or not? Yes, it works. Is it occult? No, it's not. But my skepticism didn't go away, even though I'm practicing homeopathy every day. And I'm still in awe of what the body can do to heal once given the right stimulus, aka the homeopathic remedy. One of the things that surprised me most is what it can do with scar tissue. If there is one thing that we know about scar tissue is it doesn't stretch. It is rigid. But when it comes to homeopathic remedies for scar tissue, whoa. It started when a friend of mine brought her daughter to me with a BCG scar on her arm. And she asked, can homeopathy do something about it? And I'm like, we can work on hay fever. We can work on menstrual pain. Sure, cystitis, yes. Scar tissue? But I had heard of homeopathic remedies that supposedly were able to dissolve scar tissue, so I hit the books. And yeah, there it was, homeopathic remedies for scar tissue. So I went ahead and I prescribed it to this little girl. And yeah, the scar tissue actually started to melt. After the first week, we already saw changes, and those changes improved only further. Which is when she thought, maybe I can use this remedy for my acne scars, which was an amazing experiment because it is to be expected that with a little girl that the skin will heal a lot quicker. Not so much with a woman in her 30s that has scar tissue from acne. So I thought, okay, great, let me use it for my patients. And it didn't take long for a case to come up. It was a lady that came to see me and was told that only IVF would work for her because she had blocked fallopian tubes because of surgeries that had caused scar tissue. And as you know, scar tissue is considered to be rigid, permanent, and something to get around, which is why IVF was suggested to her. But of course, I started with my cool new remedies. And yeah, she got pregnant after a couple of months because, of course, scar tissue, it is rigid. So it's not going to melt overnight, but it does melt on the right remedy. And why is this important for you when you're trying to conceive? Well, looking at the lovelies that come to my clinic, there's a very good chance you've had surgery to your abdomen at some point. Whether it was a DNC, whether it was surgery to remove fibroids and you thought, oh, well, now the fibroids will go. Now I can finally fall pregnant. But what you didn't know is that scar tissue showed up. You may have had a C-section in the past, so you've had 1, 2, or more babies, but then the siblings aren't coming because you've had that C-section. Or it could be for endometriosis surgery, or you may have had an ectopic pregnancy in the past and lost one tube or scarred one of your tubes because of it. So for example, like the case that I mentioned, if you have scar tissue in your fallopian tubes, you may already know that that will either give you a risk factor for having another ectopic pregnancy, because if the sperm does get through somehow and then the egg merges with the sperm and then it develops into an embryo, it becomes too big to pass through the fallopian tubes, or it even prevents egg and sperm to meet in the first place because of scar tissue. When there's scar tissue in your womb, it can prevent proper implantation. So whether that is from endometriosis removal or it is from any kind of other surgery to your womb, that can become a problem. But it's not always that obvious. I've had lovelies in my clinic that had clear scans, but I was suspicious, and because they still weren't falling pregnant and there weren't any other obvious things to work on. And then I put them on these remedies and they did fall pregnant, which is when I realized that even clear scans don't always tell us if there is scarring. There may not be obvious scarring, but there still may be minimal scarring that may have been overlooked or just not visible on a scan that can be addressed with the homeopathic remedies and that are impacting your chance of falling pregnant. So if you have ever had a C-section, a DNC, fibroid removal, endometriosis removal, or an ectopic pregnancy, and you haven't gotten pregnant since, this is definitely something worth looking into. I've got another video that talks about trauma in general and how it can impact your fertility, and not just for you, but also your partner. And if you're interested in that, click on the video on your screen right now. And in the meantime, see you in the next video. Bye, lovely.